Nice tank. I see it comes in black. Where can I get one? We always try to be ourselves at Cobra. Unless we can be Batman, then we try and be Batman. Merry Hisssmas, Merry Hisssmas. So welcome back to TAKTAK Toys With Film. It's been a while. I've been meaning to do this sort of overview for a while, but here's my overview of the G.I. Joe classified HISS tank. So as you can see, it's so big, I've not even been able to put it in a diorama, so it's just on the box on my bed. So I know everyone and their mum has done a HISS tank review, but let's do ours. So welcome back to TAKTAK Toys With Film, your home of G.I. Joe Classified, Operation Monster Force, Valorverse Action Force, and a hell of a lot more, including movie 1/12 scale action figures. Yo, Joe! Okay, so as mentioned, this is the HISS tank, the G.I. Joe classified HISS tank. Here's the box. So shout out to the French collector who's managed to have these video photos well in advance. Here's the box, the front and sides of the box, the back of the box as well. So that's what it looks like. Remember, this video is just not for kids. So let's get into it. Let's have a closer deep dive into the HISS tank, and here's the packaging. So this is what the HISS tank looks like inside the box. Again, I didn't really do an unboxing with mine just because it was so overwhelming, to be honest with you. It took ages. So here's what comes in the box. You've got the HISS Tanktician, which is signed by Ron Rudat, the HISS Driver and the HISS Gunner, and the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. And yeah, I have all these. I plan to keep them. I know some people are selling their Cobra Commanders, but I plan to keep all mine, sort of all my figures. So I've opened up all of these figures apart from the Cobra Commander. Let me know if you've picked up the HISS and if you've opened them up. And here's the electronic display with the HISS. So this shows you like the kind of Cobra symbol. If you put batteries in the HISS tank, how it lights up. And this is the sort of classified hood as well on the HISS tank, classified canopy. I've put the more traditional canopy on mine, but you're going to see that soon enough. So yeah, here's the Cobra logo. And here is with batteries. Now I haven't put batteries in mine just because I have a habit of leaving batteries in the things like remote control cars and things like that. I put batteries into, and we all know what happens to batteries if you do that. So yeah, I might put them in at some point. But here's the back, lit up and everything. So this is where you can put figures in. There's seating and an armory in the back of the HISS tank. And here out of the packaging is the HISS Tactician, HISS Driver and HISS Gunner. So yeah, you do get the 3 figures with the HISS tank. Obviously, I think, as far as I'm aware, the Driver and the Gunner were unlocks, but the Tactician was voted, so everyone voted. The most popular colour scheme was that black and red. And here is the HISS tank in front of my collection. So as you can see, that's my collection of G.I. Joe classified on the shelves behind me. So this is kind of an unboxing video and a collection video all in one. But here it is, and it's absolutely massive, as you can see here. So as I say, I've put the traditional canopy on mine. Here's the art on the box. So lovely artwork. This is the first sort of HasLab I've ever picked up, so this is a new experience for me. So as you can see, it's my bed. This is where the magic happens. You know, I'd love to say I've invited a few HISS tank drivers back for some action here, but that would be a lie. So yeah, that's my bed. And yeah, here's the packaging. So there we go. As you can see, lovely sort of artwork on all the packaging all the way around. And it's great to have the first vehicle in classified form. Obviously, we're going to get the Vamp later on in sort of the year in 2024. And yeah, the Dragonfly at the end of the year. And there's rumours of more, isn't there? The Thunder Machine and the Snowcat. So we're getting spoilt as classified collectors. And of course, there's the Valorverse Action Force Vanguard you can pick up as well, which looks enormous compared to this as well. But yeah, here's the rockets. They're removable. So you can actually remove all these, and typically, just I'm showing you because I'm holding the camera with one hand and doing it with another, couldn't remove one, but there we go. They removed, finally got one off, so they can they remove easily. And this comes packed with features, by the way. So you've got little ladders on the side which you can pull down. You've got the canopy, obviously, which you can open up. All the sort of guns and things are articulated and movable. I mean, you could arguably say this is one of the best 6-inch vehicles that have ever been made, and that, I don't think that'd be a stretch, to be honest. It's so good. The guns, it does come with stickers like that you can actually put on the vehicle. So I've put a few on my HISS tank here just to sort of like customize it a little bit. So it does come with stickers, as I mentioned, but it's packed out with features, as you can see here. Eventually I'm going to be able to get the canopy open. It's all a bit difficult doing this with one hand, so obviously, because I'm holding the camera with the other. So you know, with two hands you'd have a much easier time. But essentially, yeah, You know, it's so customizable, the HISS tank as well, which is so good. You know, and it's an army building vehicle as well. So some people have bought 2, some people have bought even more than that, like 5. But yep, there you go. That's the canopy opening. So I've got the traditional canopy. Now what I did, I used a hairdryer and heated up the sort of seat belts. And they unbuckle if you heat them up for 60 seconds, like as I'm pointing there, so you can fit the driver in easily. Now, I know a few collectors when they first got theirs, they didn't realise, and a few of the seat belts have snapped. So do make sure you heat the seat belts up with a hairdryer before you put the HISS tank tactician in, or HISS tank driver, I should say, in. But yeah. So again, there's all the features. The tyre tracks move. The tyre tracks are movable on the vehicle. Yeah, I could have obviously shown you all these features, but it's so overwhelming. To be honest, the vehicle's so good and so overwhelming. It's kind of difficult to run through everything. To be honest, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, with the figure, it's easy to do articulation, but there's so much on offer here. I can honestly say I think this is probably one of the best 6-inch vehicles, as I mentioned before, 6-inch vehicles we've had. I mean, other ones I've got in my collection, which you'll see me do a comparison with. I've got the remote controlled 110 scale Batmobile from the Robert Pattinson movie, and I've got the McFarlane 89 Batmobile, and I think this is better than both of those. But anyway, let me know what you think. If you're enjoying this video, smash the like button. Feel free to comment and subscribe. Here's some artwork of the HISS tank in action from the 80s sort of toy line. And here's again a few other collectors, like images of collector opening their Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander and displaying them. So yep, talking in comparisons, here is the Mattel 110 scale Robert Pattinson Batmobile. So as you can see, that's quite a large vehicle. I've managed to put the SH Figure Arts Robert Pattinson into the driver's seat there. I had to put him in through the passenger seat and then scoot him over. But yeah, managed to get him in, but he looks tiny in that, doesn't he? And that vehicle looks really big, to be honest. Next to the HISS tank, but again, both are massive vehicles, but the HISS tank is such a big vehicle, and I have to say, I don't think it's probably fair to put a vehicle in my top 10, but because obviously it's just going to blow the figures out of the water that it's compared to. But if I was putting vehicles into the top 10, this would be my number 1. This would be my number 1 pick of the year. It's so good. I can't stress it enough. Here in the UK, you can pick up at In Demand Toys for a slightly higher price. I'm sure in the States, Big Bad Toy Store might get a few in, so obviously keep an eye on that. But here's a vehicle comparison. So obviously compared to a Mattel 110 scale Batmobile, this is how they essentially line up. And yeah, it's just great to have more sort of 6-inch scale vehicles, particularly if you're a classified collector, because G.I. Joe, you know, is made for vehicles. It's a toy line that has to, you know, should exist with vehicles, a bit like Star Wars really. But yeah, let's talking as G.I. Joe classified. Let's do a comparison here. So this is Bazooka, the traditional Bazooka, next to the HISS tank, and you can see here how a regular classified figure sort of stacks up against this tank. And obviously it's enormous, you know, it's enormous. Is it probably true 1/12 scale? Maybe it's been scaled down slightly, I guess, I don't know, but it's still good enough in my book. It's still great in my book, you know. It's just finding the room. I think this is a nice problem for collectors to have, but it's really finding the room of where to put it. Obviously we've got vamps coming as well, or a vamp, you know, you can get more than one. I'm probably going to get 2 myself, but you get the vamps, the dragonfly. I mean, that's even bigger than this in a way, lengthwise. I mean, we saw the dragonfly at MCM Comic Con. It was absolutely enormous. So yeah, I mean, it's just a nice problem for collectors to have, but it's finding the space to put these things in. I think we all want vehicles until they actually arrive, and then we're like, oh, where do we actually put them when they're in sort of 1/12 scale or 110 scale, or even bigger? I mean, this is a problem that Hot Toys collectors have probably had for a while. But yeah, here's a comparison with it, Valaverse Action Force. So here's 2 Delta Troopers from Valaverse Action Force, which of course scale quite nicely with G.I. Joe classified. So yeah, here's the sort of HISS tank alongside those. As you can see, it just fits really well with any sort of 6-inch or 1/12 scale military action figures. Of course, you don't have to just have military action figures. You can have the HISS tank go up against your Marvel Legends, you know, whatever, your DC Multiverse from McFarlane. It's your collection. You decide how you want to play with it and how you want to have fun with it. But it's a great vehicle. It's a great vehicle. I can't stress it enough. It's kind of a shame that the Engine of Vengeance was the price it was and didn't fund, because I'm sure Marvel Legends collectors, if the Engine of Vengeance was a bit cheaper, would have probably had a great time having a vehicle like that in their collection. But you never know, vehicles are probably not completely off the table in Marvel Legends, but as far as G.I. Joe go, we're full steam ahead with vehicles. And let's just put a villain next to a Cobra agent, next to the HISS tank, so here's Firefly, the sort of more retro version or classic Firefly next to the HISS tank. So here you go. You can see again what a G.I. Joe classified figure looks like next to the HISS tank. And just for something different from a different line, we saw him at the start of the video, let's put DC Multiverse McFarlane, Dark Knight McFarlane Batman next to the HISS tank. So again, this is a 1:10 scale or 7-inch figure, but again you can see how well it scales up with the HISS tank. So really is a well-worthy purchase, and I'm so glad I've actually bought one. I probably would have got two, to be perfectly honest. But if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash the like button and feel free to comment and subscribe. And for all the latest Marvel Legends news, reviews and live streams, check out Dan Who Reviews, and of course with his co-host Rich M on a weekly basis. You can check out Legends and Liquor. Feel free to check out Turtles and Tea with Dan and Tanner, and of course you can check out Joe's and Juice with Dan, our host, Mini Plastic Multiverse, and myself. And we've done a Joe's and Juice recently, talking all the latest G.I. Joe classified top 10 of 2023. So feel free to check that out. Excuse me while I take a drink. Yeah, feel free to check that out. So you can check out Joe's, talking of juice, you can check out Joe's and Juice on Dan Who's live stream, and I'll put a link to that in the comments below. Feel free to check out Jay's Toy Collection UK for all the latest sort of action figure reviews in the UK. Now obviously he's done a HISS tank review, as has Dan, so I'll put links to both of those. You can check out their HISS tank reviews and see what you think. They're probably a bit more in depth than mine. Mine's kind of just an overview, because obviously, like I say, everyone's done a HISS tank review now. You can check out Miguel and the Wolfpack Toy review. He got a HISS tank as well, so feel free to check out his channel. Why not check out AC Toy Design, Adam Crone and all his custom action figures. You can check out Dante and the Infinity Equation. Feel free to check out Agent Z-Man, and you can of course check out Big Will and Pixels and Plastic. And again, I'll put links to all these YouTube channels in the comments below. And you can check out Why So Serious Toys, and feel free to check out Cypher Sigma. And you can of course check out the 3POA podcast for the latest action figure chat and pop culture discussion. And feel free to check out Trevor the 1/6 Shooter for all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions and more. And you can check out Brian's action figures for action figure reviews in Ireland. And feel free to check out Elson Official Music for all the latest sort of pop music covers and original music of his own design. So yeah, feel free to, and you can check out Toy Pics for all the latest Photo Dave and Toy Pics for the latest toy photography tips and tricks. And again, I'll put links to all these YouTube channels in the comments below. And you might be thinking of places to buy action figures. Where can I pre-order and purchase action figures? And you can of course check out Blue Owl Collectibles, a brand new UK store, online independent store. So I'll put that in the comments below. Feel free to check out Comics and Cocktails. And you can of course check out the whole shebang. And again, like I said, I'm going to put links to all these excellent online independent UK retailers in the comments below. You can check out Kapow Toys, and feel free to check out all the cool stuff. And you can of course check out Star Action Figures. Yep, and again, like I say, links to all these links to all these independent UK retailers in the comments below. And if you do want to pick up a HISS tank, if you didn't pick one up initially from Hasbro Pulse, you can go to In Demand Toys. They have them in stock. They're obviously a bit more expensive, but you can do PayPal to split the costs. You can check out Props and Replicas, and feel free to check out Gobsmack Comics. And if you like Film and TV Review, feel free to check out Film and TV Review, their website, and I'll put a link to that in the comments below. So I hope you enjoyed my HISS tank overview. As I say, I know everyone's done one by now, but yeah, thanks for joining me if you did like this one. And until next time, enjoy those flicks and figs.